Welcome to Sky Factory. In this mod pack, you start with a single tree and move out from there. My goal is to survive and thrive for 100 days without dying. Here we go. Day 1. Right off the bat, the first thing I do is look at the Prestige menu. It basically is an optional mode where parts of the game are locked away until you spend points on it. This was a mistake. I didn't realize that the Prestige stayed between worlds. I also didn't notice that this gave me resistance and fire resistance permanently until about day 30. After figuring out how to open the achievement menu, I started cutting down the tree. I made a crook to get better drops from leaves and then expanded the base of our little island. I then started to plant saplings. Saplings grow faster if you rapidly press shift, so enjoy this footage. Also, you can mine large chunks of blocks at a time at the cost of expending hunger. The trees drop dirt resin and dirt acorns, which can be turned into dirt blocks. I set up a drying rack and put up 8 dirt acorns that soon petrified. Using these, I made my first petrified sapling to get cobblestone. I then cut down and replanted a ton of these trees. I also combined the power of dirt and stone to make a clay sapling. To speed things up, I set up a traditional cobble generator. Day 2. As the sun rose on day 2, I put my one torch under a wooden cauldron and threw 4 cobblestone inside. That made lava. Using a clay bucket, I moved the lava where it needed to go. I combined an axe, shovel, and pick and started mining cobble the old-fashioned way. After creating an infinite water source, I made obsidian by cooling off lava in the cauldron and turned the obsidian into a bucket. I then crushed petrified acorns into gravel acorns to make a gravel sapling, and then crushed some gravel acorns into sand acorns for a sand tree. That night, I crafted a cobble generator block and dismantled the old-fashioned kind. Day 3. Apparently, if you wash off gravel, you get bone meal, which you can turn into a bone sapling. I also started turning leaves into the grass. Now, there's a lot of these trees, and that's what I focus on getting for the next few days, so let's speed things up. I wash off a clay sapling to get a jungle sapling and grow it in a 2x2 form to get vines. If you take bone meal, jungle saplings, and vines, you can turn them into a cottonwood sapling. Dry off those leaves into string, and then string into wool, and then wool into a bed so this video doesn't take forever to film. Wash off a sand sapling to get a birch sapling, and then burn it to the ground for a coal sapling. Day 4. So I need to make a Tinker's Construct smeltery out of porcelain. That takes clay and bone meal, so that's what I gather all day. Day 5. I make that smeltery and fill it with lava to heat it up. I combine different resins to get tin amber that I melt in the smeltery and pour over a birch sapling to get a tin sapling. An iron sapling, the most important one early on, needs an apple sapling. So I got an oak sapling and spent all day trying to get an apple. Day 6. I turned that apple into seeds to bone meal to get an apple sapling. I then combined various resins to get a block of iron amber, melted it and poured it over an apple sapling and got an iron sapling. I also made my first bonsai pot, which makes a little tree that is really easy to harvest. Using iron resin and acorns that I gathered, I made iron amber and melted it into enough iron ingots to make a hopping bonsai pot that automatically harvests the little tree inside of it. This is the way that we turn Sky Block into Sky Factory. Day 7. I washed off another sapling to get a dark oak sapling, combined it with a bottle of water and some resin, and got a lapis sapling. I also made a patch of grass. Day 8. I used bone meal to get seeds of all different types and made a watering can. Combined with the grass patch, I made a farm for wheat. I also combined some red dye from a flower and some resin to get a redstone sapling. Day 9. I took wheat, made it into donuts, and threw them with a sapling and made a donut sapling. I took some different resins, combined them into lead amber, and cast it over a dark oak sapling to get a lead sapling. I also dried off some cooked fish for leather and made a cow seat. Meet Jackson, Jamie, and James, and, what's his face? My new roommates. Day 10. I washed off a lapis sapling to get a mineral sapling, which is a great food source. I melted some gold amber made from different resins and poured it over a mineral sapling to get a gold sapling. I also made a market stand. I thought it was empty, but luckily a merchant dropped in. I took a cactus I grew, dunked it in milk from one of the cows, and got some weird slimy dirt. And then I took another sapling, dunked it in milk, and got a weird slimy sapling. Together, I can grow blue slimy trees. Day 11. I combined resins into silver amber, cast it over a mineral sapling, and got a silver sapling. I bought bacon from the market, cooked it, and threw it together with some sugar to get a bacon sapling. Now, to wake up to the smell of bacon each morning, you just need a tree at the foot of your bed instead of a George Foreman grill. Finally, I combined some gold, lapis, and silver resin with a redstone sapling to get the king of the trees. The diamond tree. Well, this is not the last tree. It's the last tree I needed to speedrun. I made my first diamond and hung it proud. Don't ask what's-his-face where the leather for the item frame came from. We're not on speaking terms for a very, very long time. Day 12. Now with the hard work done, I set to making the island look better than just a block of floating oak planks. Using mineral wood, I made a nice big circular hub to expand my base from. Day 13. I made snad, which grows sugarcane on top of it by the power of redstone. I then made a small extension to the path so it could have room for project paperwork. Project paperwork began when I turned some iron into filing cabinets, so I had to place to sort all my folders made from that sugarcane. These folders are special though. They each hold a near infinite number of a certain resource within them. Put a hopping bonsai over the filing cabinet with the correct folders, and you have an infinite source of whatever the tree is made of. Day 14. I make more hopping bonsai pots for project paperwork, and a block that automatically sends redstone signals to the snad for a massive amount of sugarcane. Day 15. I made a little extension to the hub so I had somewhere else to put the smeltery and all the Tinker's construct tables. With these, I can make custom tools. Also, Jamie tried to commit murder by pushing me off the island, so I gave an appropriate punishment. Day 16. I made a generator that burns stuff for energy. Luckily, I don't think global warming is a thing in this game. I spent the rest of the day cutting down mineral trees for the next day's project. Day 17. I made a mechanical squeezer that uses power to crush things. One thing it can do is crush mineral logs into mineral chunks, greatly speeding up getting material for this mechanical drying basin, which uses power to dry things quickly. Do not confuse a mechanical drying basin with an uncrafting table. A mechanical drying basin dehydrates things. An uncrafting table uncrafts things. Day 18. I added mineral and gold trees to project paperwork. Day 19. I added silver and lead and redstone and lapis and coal trees to project paperwork. I'll just call New Additions Advancing Project Paperwork. I also used Tinker's Construct to make me a mattock out of obsidian and flint to mine dirt and wood. I also made the most broken item in the game, the party pickaxe. This powerful tool not only mines very quickly, but does a ton of damage, as Jameson proves here. Day 20. I made a nickel sapling today. Day 21. I made an emerald sapling. They say money doesn't grow on trees, but any villager disagrees. I also advanced project paperwork. Day 22. I advanced project paperwork. I briefly look into Tinker's armor, but decide to just make some out of diamonds and emeralds. Day 23. I needed milk, but discovered all my friends left me. No worries, I'll make a new one. I used it to bake a cake. Not just any cake, another cake that teleports you to the nether. Or maybe not the real nether, you have the ability to place water after all. After a brief visit, I call it a day. Day 24. I lost the footage. But note that I got netherrack, cobalt, ardite, and quartz, and turned them into saplings. Day 25. I make a magma slime sapling. Day 26. I convert the smeltery into an alloying tank and advance project paperwork. Day 27. I advance project paperwork. Part of this advancement is a simple storage network that lets you easily search for and take items from files instead of having to manually open it yourself. It's nice, and I won't connect it to the rest of my storage for way too long. Day 28. I began the process of making a shuriken. Does nothing interesting happen today? I'm pretty sure it can. Day 29. I complete the process of making a shuriken and test it out on our unnamed friend. I hope he's not too mad. I made it impossible to break and just needed a test subject to verify that it worked. Day 30. I headed into the nether to raid a fortress and test the shurikens. I also found a few heart containers and chests that give you a permanent health increase. Day 31. I started work on the more permanent solution to our power supply needs. I made a geothermal generator that turns lava into power. Of course, the whole system will take up space, so I made it its own little section. Day 32. I upgraded the cobblestone generator to spit cobblestone out faster than an A10 Warthog's GAU-8 Avenger 30mm Gatling gun spits out bullets. This cobblestone is moved into a dropper that spits them out into a cauldron that automatically melts them into lava. The lava is then pulled out of the cauldron and into the geothermal generator, creating infinite power. Day 33. I made a magma anvil that automatically repairs items using the lava from the generator, and hooked machines up to the power. I also made a platform under the island where squids will spawn and immediately fall to their deaths. It's like Squid Game, but with only the falling part and no game. Day 34. At this point, I realized that I had permanent resistance. Oh well. I spent the day making a charm that makes the clicking noise from the lava generator disappear. Day 35. I made a copper sapling and added it to project paperwork. I also made a quartz sapling and added it to project paperwork. Day 36. And a nickel sapling. And an osmium sapling. I made a metallurgy confuser to help me make other machines. I also alloyed coal and iron together into steel. Don't worry, I won't let anyone steal it from me. Day 37. I made an energized smelter that is effectively an upgradable electric furnace. I also made an enrichment chamber that takes amber and gives double the resources of just smelting it. Day 38. I started making upgrades to speed up the new machines. I quickly discovered that these upgrades eat up power exponentially, so that needed to be fixed. Day 39. I tried to fix the energy problem by giving the generator its own type of speed upgrade. It worked for now, but I knew that it would only be a temporary solution until I got energy upgrades. Day 40. I needed ender pearls, so naturally I poured lava over glowstone to get endstone. Using this, I made seeds that grow into endermen. Day 41. So I killed more endermen. After that excruciating process, I turned 4 ender pearls into ender seeds that make the rest of the process much easier. After growing them in a dark place, much like other valuable crops, I had all 8 ender pearls that I needed. Day 42. I made 8 eyes of ender and surrounded a cake with them. On world record pace, I quickly entered the end. Would I be victorious over the dragon, or die in the attempt? Neither. In Sky Factory, the dragon's already dead for some reason. At least I have a nice source of obsidian now. That gave me time to start on a mod called Deep Mob Learning. Day 43. I made a simulation chamber that tries to replicate various mobs as well as it possibly can. It does these through various data models that learn about mobs by ending their lives. Day 44. I needed a massive amount of data on Enderman, but needed a better weapon, so I made a broadsword. With it, I stormed the end and began some good old-fashioned data collection. Day 45. I needed a bit more data, so a bit more blood needed to be spilled. Day 46. With the data I needed, I made a trial keystone so I could advance technology thanks to the power of trial by combat. Day 47. May the trial by combat begin. I will admit that the permanent resistance proved very helpful. I still had to abandon the first trial even with resistance because it was still a bit too difficult, so I decided to focus on enchanting my armor first. Day 48. After making some good old-fashioned strength potions, I set off for real this time. May the trial by combat begin. The footage didn't want to exist, but out of it I got a few glitched hearts. Day 49. I ground the hearts up and threw them into water with golden lapis to get glitch-infused ingots. With these, I crafted a set of armor and a sword. The sword does decent damage and starts doing more damage the more it's used. The armor? It gives you creative flight. We're not even 50 days in, and we have the best armor in the game. Naturally, I spent a ton of time enchanting it. Day 50. We're halfway there, but thanks to this armor, living on much more than only a prayer. This data model, when put in a simulation chamber and given some polymer, spits out pristine matter that can be turned into useful stuff using this new loot fabricator. Now able to fly, I went to the end and did some good old-fashioned end raiding. This got me not only loot, but also got me shulker data and upgraded the damage my sword does. Day 51. It took forever to find a way home, though. Day 52. I got data on blazes and wither skeletons. That wither matter can be turned into wither skulls, which is very useful. Day 53. I worked on getting machine upgrades, especially the energy ones. I also upgraded the machines into factory blocks, which have triple the space and speed. Day 54. Sky Factory has a new dimension called the Lost Cities, so naturally I made a cake to get there. It's a bunch of cities that float, so the ability to fly is very useful. Does it have good loot? No. It does have a ton of random collectible resources like these quartz blocks though, which is nice. Apparently OBS doesn't like other dimensions. Day 55. Upgrades, people, upgrades. Also, Enderman matter can make end crystals, meaning it's time for a totally normal dragon fight. Day 56. That trial from a week ago randomly got me prismarine shards, meaning that I can make a better shuriken than the one I have. After making it unbreakable, I tested it in the nether. Day 57. I needed my sword to do more damage, so I started killing endermen. Another day, another data. Day 58. Wait, the singular form of data is datum. So another day, another datum. Yeah, that sounds better. Day 59. I went mining in the Lost Cities. Did I want ore? No. I just wanted marble. I extended the path out to a new area. After realizing all I've done is make machines, I decided to change the pace a bit and just build. I placed quartz blocks for the floor and used a chisel to turn marble into pillars. Day 60. After extending the floor a bit, I decided that I needed an unbreakable silk touch pick. So that's what I made today. I used the scepter thing to extend the floor a bit, but it just wasn't useful. I mined some gray terracotta from a building in one of the domes and smelted it for this fun glazed terracotta block. Day 61. I tried to place each block on the correct orientation by hand, but then I remembered that wrenches exist and can easily rotate blocks. Day 62. After outlining the floor and pillars, I just placed all the terracotta blocks at once, and began rotating. Day 63. And rotating. It does look pretty cool though. Day 64. Mobs like to spawn on the floor, so I had to light it up. Mineral torches work best, but are far from preferable. I also started raising the roof. If you can't tell, I'm going for a classic Parthenon look. Day 65. I started designing what would go into the big triangle. Just making it a plain wall would not look great. I decided on this mosaic of a little floating island with a tree, a reminder of where we started and how far we've come. Day 66. Eliminate all the Jedi. Oh wait, day 66. I needed more quartz for the roof, so I made tunnels between cities go poof. And the roof is done. Day 67. I made this lantern that automatically places invisible lights. Too bad it takes forever, these torches will have to stay for now. I still need to do the island mosaic on the other side, so I needed marble. And the marvelous marble mosaic is complete, along with the building as a whole. You may ask what I'm going to do with it. That's a good question. Day 68. I decided to kill a few dragons for fun, and OBS continued to decide it didn't like it. Day 69. I made it uncrafter. It uncrafts things. Do not get it confused with this dehydrator. An uncrafter uncrafts. A dehydrator dehydrates. Day 70. I tried to make an auto-clicker to automate redstone production. It failed. Day 71. I went wither skeleton hunting so I could take their skulls. Day 72. A bit of enchanting, a bit of uncrafting, not to be confused with dehydrating. I took some flowers, stuck them in a cake, and got a portal to the Twilight Zone. Twilight Forest. Except it was just a bunch of random islands. Day 73. Another day exploring the Twilight Forest. Killed a big snake thing, found a labyrinth, but it wouldn't let me kill anything inside for some reason. Day 74. Another day, another adventure into the forest, and another snake thing killed because apparently it didn't register the first time. I tried to kill a lich, but I couldn't do any damage to it in the final phase. At this point, I gave up on the forest. While not all who wander are lost, I certainly was lost on what I was supposed to do here. Day 75. I made a chest that has a ton of space and connected it to Project Paperwork storage system. Day 76. It took way too long, but I finally connected all my storage into a single system. Now I don't have to open up every chest for what I need and can just look it up. Day 77. Today is a very important day. I grabbed a strength potion, went to a random dome, and fought the wither. I also made a replica of the starting tree out of marble. I think it's pretty neat. Day 78. I needed spider data for string, so to the Lost Cities I go. Day 79. I upgraded the metallurgic infuser into a factory and made an enrichment chamber, which allows you to turn 1 amber into 3 ingots. Of course, it doesn't just give ingots, it gives chunks of metal that has to be crushed with this new crusher that gives impure dust that has to be purified and the pure dust that has to be smelted into ingots. Day 80. I put some amber into the purification chamber and nothing happened. It turns out I needed oxygen to be pumped into it for it to work in the first place. So I made an electrolytic separator that uses electricity to separate water into hydrogen and oxygen. This fluid pump I tried doesn't work because apparently in Minecraft a gas isn't a fluid. Oh, did I mention that electrolysis is very slow and the purification takes up a ton of gas? Day 81, and I had to rotate the separator 180 degrees because the hydrogen was going into the purification instead of the oxygen. Speed upgrades only made things worse. Day 82. I tried to add a power reserve to the system, but it wasn't having it for some reason. I worked on getting upgrades for the geothermal generator, but that did not help. Day 83. I tried adding a hopper collection system for all the extra cobblestone in the lava generator, but that did not work. So instead I made an auto-clicker that right-clicks the cauldron insanely quickly. Day 84. I decided to make an oxygen tank that will store any spare oxygen while there isn't purification going on. Day 85. I made this fun electric building gadget. I wasn't quite sure how to work it though. Day 86. Oh, that's how. With it, I started placing grass around the Parthenon. I tried to clear out a space for a path, but destroyed half the lawn in the process. Day 87. I made a fun bridge to build off of. I also realized that gas upgrades were a thing that makes purification take 1/10 of the gas. Now that would have been nice to know a long time ago. Now purification is reasonable. Day 88. I realized that the Parthenon is just kind of floating. So I did the obvious thing and gave it rocket boosters so it doesn't suddenly remember gravity exists. Day 89. Now I added the flames. Elon Musk only has a car in space? Pfft, pathetic. Day 90. That bridge had to go somewhere, so I built it a little island. Now you may ask what I'll do with the little floating pond. That's a good question. Day 91. I wanted to upgrade my machines from basic factories to advanced factories with even greater capacity. Look at those nice red highlights. Day 92. But that was not enough. I wanted elite factories with even more capacity. Look at those nice blue highlights. Day 93. I wanted more land, so I made more land. These islands are pointy, so obviously they float under their own power, unlike the Parthenon. Also, some andesite highlights always help things look better. Day 94. I decided that I wanted to start yet another monument to my own achievements. This little guy's holding up my legendary sword, one of the greatest achievements so far. This guy's made of marble, representing the majesty of the Parthenon it stands beside. Day 95. Why not flaunt my own wealth with a big 100 made of diamonds and emeralds? And of course, a big sun to represent the word day. Deep symbolism is key to fine art such as mine. Day 96. Why not kill some withers for fun? Day 97. I wanted plastic, so I made a machine that takes logs and turns them into latex. Luckily, there aren't oceans here that can get polluted, unlike ours. So do the opposite of what you see here. Donate to Team Seas to help clean up our oceans. Day 98. I made the start of another path. You may ask where it leads. That's a good question. Day 99. I made a sound effects block for fun. Oh, and a cake on a pedestal. Day 100. The time has come. People like to fight the dragon on day 100, so that's what I'll do. With all the hard work done, I looked around my island and how far it's come. I then had a bite of cake and looked over all my hard work as the sun set over what would normally be the horizon. Well, if you made it this far, you must have enjoyed the video, so leave a like if you don't mind. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I won't post often, and they'll be high-effort videos, so feel free to click the bell. Thank y'all for your time.